a quick reading for you. I'm going to use 2 decks. I'll do the main one for the reading, and then we'll clarify with another. And at the end, we will do the all signs if you're dealing with an Aries, if you're dealing with a Taurus, if you're dealing with a Gemini, etc. If any card repeats, I will point that out in case it's something you need to hear. If any sign repeats, I'll point that out in case, as well. If you like it, if it resonates, feel free to hit the like button, comment, share, whatever makes you happy. And I think that's it. So let's, okay, hold 1 second. We're gonna hit that. Okay, there we go. So let's get started. We're going to use the Gustave Doré Tarot deck to do the main reading. I've already shuffled, but I'll do a quick good faith shuffle. All right, so what is the current situation? All right, Sagittarius, are you feeling left out in the cold? You or somebody's feeling left out in the cold or poor. Feeling, that's my cat, Kiki. Feeling like you don't have what you need. Keister. Kiki. Keister Pumpkin. Rosie, stop it. Kiki. You'll hear her. She'll be like, all right, so 5 of Pentacles. So this is the current situation. So feeling like you don't have what you need. If it's a love thing, you're feeling left out in the cold. They're not showing you the love, attention, or they're not giving. Maybe not financially, I don't know, but there's just a feeling of not having what you need. Look at this deck. It's a pretty deck, isn't it? All right, so what are the challenges? That is a heck of a card. Look at this. So, in addition to feeling like, I don't know, who is somebody, I almost feel like the words feeling invincible is coming up, but are you feeling like you've been through a war? Is that what it is? Maybe you're tired of defending yourself. Maybe you're tired of fighting for this. If it's a work thing, then you're tired of fighting for this work thing. If it's recognition, not getting recognized, I don't know. But whatever it is, if it's a financial thing, you're like, you feel like you've been dragged through it. All right, well, feeling like you've been through it, like maybe you've just had enough. So what is it that you need to focus on right now? Work, actual work. So your actual work. So if it's a job, then you need to pay more attention to maybe the quality of work or working more. I'm not saying you're not, but if it's a love thing, the work that you're putting into it and the work that somebody else is putting into it. If this is taking you from your grind, then it's telling you to work on your actual job and stability, putting in the effort to be more stable, because the 8 of Pentacles is, what you need to focus on. So there was commitment in the past to whatever it was. There was commitment. I'm going to clarify with the runic tarot too, by the way. So recent influences. So it could be, this is a possibility. If it's a relationship, there was, I don't know if somebody felt like you were spending too much time focusing on work or what, but the recent influences are the Ace of Pentacles, and that's all about making money. This is the most recent influences, or what was influencing the situation. So in the near future, if it's a job thing, this makes sense, because in the near future you're going to be more stable. You're going to have what you need. You'll be able to help other people. If it's a relationship, I don't know if it's a matter of you focusing more on work and your financial stability and being in the near future. That's what you're going to have, is you're going to have stability, financial stability. If it's a, emotional stability, it could be, but if there's a focus on you having what you need. So what kind of advice do we have? This what are they doing? Every time I try to talk, I hear all kinds of weird sounds happening from the other rooms. So the advice is the Chariot. So it could be to move on, to move on, to gain control over the direction, take control over the direction of things. Look at this, these are ostriches. But the advice is to take control and to either move on or move forward. The environment, yeah, lots of options. So maybe too many options. I don't know. Is it a matter of too many options? Yes. And because of it, somebody has too many options, and it's caused someone to have trust issues, I guess is the best way to put it. Because the environment, Seven of Cups. Look at this card. I love this deck. It is such a cool deck. It's based off of the artwork of Gustave Doré, a French painter from way back in the day. So what are your hopes and fears? That things are going to be done, finished, dead, that you're going to be stabbed in the back, betrayed. Or maybe you're hoping it'll be done. You're hoping to end things because you don't want to be betrayed. The outcome, Four of Swords, a break. It could be reflection, taking time to reflect on things, but I think it's going to be a pause or a break. And since it follows the Ten of Swords, I think it's definitely a break. So, do we want to clarify? And actually, I want to see what's on the bottom of the deck after I did all that. The Tower. Tower, big shakeup, so big changes. And I'll tell you the signs after I do the clarification with the Runic Tarot. So, if we were to clarify the Five of Pentacles as the current situation, feeling left out in the cold, feeling like you didn't have what you need, possibly feeling poor. So you're trying for a decision that makes you happy. I find this deck very interesting because, look at this. The Runic Tarot deck is the only one that I've known that's done this, where they have, one card will look like a different one. The Sun card looks like the Chariot. Anybody who's familiar with tarot knows what the Chariot card looks like, and that looks like the Chariot. So, trying to make a decision that makes you happy and gives you control and gives you ability to move forward. That's the current situation. So you're feeling left out in the cold and you're trying to make a decision. So the challenge is the Nine of Wands. It could be trust issues, but it could be feeling like you're just, you've been through a war. You just kind of maybe not even want to fight for it anymore. And you could, if it's a person you're dealing with, you could feel like they're somebody who's very reckless and controlling. But it could be a situation in which, just like that, I lost the card. Hold on a second. Okay, Nine of Wands. So, could be due to somebody's recklessness or control issues. Kiki. So what do you need to focus on? Work, or putting work into it, and self-love. Working on self-love. There it is again. Damn. Eight of Pentacles. All right, girls. Eight of Pentacles is clarified by the Queen of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is just saying, once again, what you need to focus on is work and stability. putting work into something and being very stable. And I feel like it's putting work into emotional stability. Because look, see how she's looking at the cup? It's her own love. So she's looking at her own love. So self-love. You may need to focus on putting work into self-love. So the recent past, the influences, there's been a commitment of some sort. It could be a lesson learned as well. But yeah, so the Hierophant being clarified by the Four of Wands, that's home, family, and the Four of Swords. And notice this Four of Swords looks like the Six of Swords. It looks like the card of moving on. Moving on from a partnership. I don't know if somebody... Before I say that. No, okay. I was gonna say, did it have anything to do with like somebody who traveled a lot? And I almost got like water, like somebody who, I don't know, if like being on a, I want to say being on a boat, or it made me think of a job in which somebody worked on a boat, like they did cruises or something like that, or were in the military and they were in like the Navy or something. And I was wondering if that was, somehow a type of influence, but I don't think that's it, because I got no. But there was a commitment, stability, a long-term family, long-term relationship, or something that's been very long-term and stable. But there's been a moving on or a break from that. So money, making money. I don't know if making money, if somebody was too busy making money. Well, now this gives me vibes of somebody who, I hate to say it like this, but somebody who gets around. There's no other way of me putting it. If you look at this, when I look at this, it makes me think of a person who gets around. And that could be their strengths. That's what they're good at, maybe. So if it's a person, that could be what they're good at, is getting around. So in the near future, stability, and look at this. So the Queen of Pentacles is clarified by, this is the Queen of Pentacles, clarified by the King of Pentacles. So stability, you're going to be very stable. So if you focus on your work and your stability, I don't know if in the near future you find yourself dealing with somebody who's emotionally immature, or just somebody who doesn't really open up. So what advice do we have for you? Okay, so I'm going to say what I thought before. Move on from some person. If it's a person, move on from some person who you may be very attracted to, but be done with it. Be done with, dealing with this, move on and be done with dealing with some person who may be very attractive, very, very charismatic, confident, sexy, and exudes masculine energy. I always get like big daddy energy, but I always think of like King of Cups as like daddy energy. But so the environment was because of lots of options. So what about the options? So because of somebody, and I don't know if it's you or the other person or both of you, if it's a relationship, someone taking too long and having too many options, Knight of Pentacles, things taking too long, maybe I don't know if they had commitment issues, fear commitment, or just fear of choosing wrong, choosing the wrong option. But also, if it's a person, you may have dealt with somebody who, I hate to say it, but they kind of like to go back in time, so to speak, and revisit old relationships. So if things didn't work out with you, if things were on the rocks, they would have called up somebody from the past and to see how they're doing and to see if they could still, you know, mess with the person. So if it's a relationship, that would be what I would think was happening. They tried to resurrect things from the past. That's why things took so long, because they kept options open. So the hopes and fears are that things are done and you either were betrayed or going to get betrayed, get stabbed in the back. So what else? Either you're feeling like somebody is concerned that they don't have what it takes to offer the other person. Like they don't have enough to offer the other person. And here's this energy of reflecting on things, taking a pause out to rest, reflect, heal possibly. And for the potential outcome, that again, reflecting, that is interesting now that I think about it. All right, so yeah, the outcome. So I hate to tell you that there's a possibility that you could get your heart broken, but in doing so, it's going to make you more stable. It's going to make you focus on your financial stability and your emotional stability. So it's almost like a necessary lesson. In fact, maybe that's what that Hierophant is here for, is because it's a lesson. So it's not so much stability as it's a lesson. So the recent past, a lesson. Could be with a home. But the Four of Swords came out twice. Four of Wands. Did the Four of Wands? A lot of fours here now that I realize it. You got Four of Swords, Four of Wands, Four of Cups. Do you have Four of Pentacles? Because I know Scorpio did. So it's probably a lesson about stability and home and family and when to move on. When to take a break, take a time out, when to move on. So, lesson learned, I guess, is that what we're coming to here? We're figuring out, is it a lesson? You know, it was a lesson. Did you deal with a person or a situation which was a lesson? And in doing so, it's had to, you know, make you, I don't want to say grow up, but it's been a maturing experience, let's put it that way. So, let's see. If you're dealing with an Aries, ooh, they have trust issues, but they feel like you're their other half. So they feel like they've been through a war with you too. Taurus, they may want to apologize for putting you in a situation which you were all up in your head, or being confusing or stressing you out. They might want to apologize for stressing you out. Gemini. Okay, I shuffled these cards well, and if you are a cusp between Scorpio and Sagittarius, this is definitely your message, because Sagittarius, your Gemini is a juggler that looks at options. They have a lot of options. They're a juggling, open, option keeping fool. I mean, no. Cancer, they're stressing out and losing sleep over this. Now, there could be a Cancer that if there's a pregnancy, the Cancer is stressing out over it. If it's theirs or yours, I mean, whoever's it is, someone is stressing out over this, a pregnancy. But stressing out over the growth of things, or maybe the lack of growth. Is it a lack of growth? Maybe. All right. And that's funny because the card that I used to clarify it with is the card about growth. Look at this. What you've gotten out of it. Interesting. So if you're dealing with a Leo, they're kind of immature and kind of a disaster. Kind of an impulsive, immature disaster. If you're dealing with a Virgo, wow, look at this. They're going through a lot of big changes right now. And I feel like this Virgo is going through a dark night of the soul. Look at this. It is a very healing situation for them. I don't know if they have hope, though. It's interesting because the moon and then the star, I mean, technically the moon is considered a star, but it's a luminary. But look at that. They may need to heal their emotions too. They need they need to gain emotional balance. They may not have their emotions might be all over the place. If you're dealing with a Libra, you are their wish and they're trying to be patient. If you are dealing with a Scorpio, I feel like they're blocking and moving on. If you're dealing with a Sagittarius, they're waiting on you and focusing right now on their coin. So they might be working, but they're focusing on their financial stability. If you're dealing with a Capricorn, they're going to offer you love, but they're kind of dramatic. If you are dealing with an Aquarius, they're going to come rushing in to argue and fight. Be all argumentative. If you're dealing with a Pisces, they are focused on sex. Now, it could either a case of them trying to sweep things under the rug because they're horny, and they don't want you to hold them accountable and focus on anything they did wrong, or they're just trying to move on and trying to find sex somewhere, because that's what they're interested in. All right, with that said, Sagittarius, I don't know, no one had any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and go on to the Capricorn reading. So thank you, love you, and I will see you in the Capricorn reading.